Hi, everybody. This is Miss Emily from EBN Music. I hope everybody is doing well. The second Friday of the month, I'd like to go live, and I'm calling this Tales and Techniques. It involves some stories that I have, and I have so many different stories of students and things that they do and say in the classroom, in the online lesson, and in in-person lesson once those start. And then also I want to share just a few techniques that I've learned with teaching online specifically. Okay, so I want to share with you a story from one of my students this week or this month. She is 11 years old. She is very creative, very fun to teach. So let me give some background. So I often have, especially when my students are preparing for performances, I have Bob. Say hi to Bob. And Bob sometimes goes somewhere on the wall. And when they're practicing performing, I often say, okay, I want you to sing your, or it's usually introducing yourself. Hi, my name is Miss Emily, and I will be playing Beauty and the Beast today. Okay, so I should say that to Bob. I have to look him in the eye. See, he's smiling at me. So anyway, this is Bob. So I often have my students do this for Bob. I also have a Bob that is another inanimate object. This is Bob as well, and Bob is a thing I put over students' hands for piano, so they can encourage them to look at their book. So I have Bob and Bob. So one of my students, nothing ever gets past her. This 11-year-old smart student, she said, "Miss Emily, are all of your inanimate objects named Bob?" And I said, well, yes. I guess so. I'm not very creative. I can't think of another name besides Bob. Okay, so fast forward to this week. So I often have, this is my puppet, Freddie. Freddie, hi, Freddie. And so I was demonstrating a word with the students. So we were talking about inverted chords. Okay, so I had Freddie, and I said, do you know what inverted means? And she goes, no, not really. And I go, okay, so I'm going to take Freddie, and if I invert him, I'm going to put him upside down. Invert means to change direction, means to, upside down. And all of a sudden she goes, oh, Miss Emily, I'm so proud of you. And I said, what? What did I do? And she goes, you have an inanimate object that's not named Bob. And I said, I do, don't I? Yay! So I thought that was really funny. Now, the next thing that she said didn't make me feel as good. And she goes, it's still a pretty basic name, Freddie. But you're improving, Miss Emily. I said thank you. So that's my funny story from my 11-year-old student. She's been taking lessons for 1 year from me, but I think she's been doing piano for longer than that. So, okay, so I will share another story at the end, but the next thing I'd like to do is share with you a few tips that I have for teaching online. So, and I'll write them here. So here is my 3 tips. So my first tip here is something called TPR. Oh, can't spell. TPR. Okay. And TPR stands for Total Physical Response. And you often use total physical response in teaching, and it often happens in teaching, especially a foreign language. So this is something I learned with teaching with the online ESL platform that I've been doing for about a year now. I teach English online to foreign students. So they often have us use TPR. So TPR is total physical response. I see you. How are you? So it's using your body, right, to convey information. So I often, a good tip is to use TPR, especially in an online lesson, to keep engagement. One of the best examples I've heard for TPR is, especially in a foreign language, if I said, yo veo un pato. If you didn't speak Spanish, you don't know what that means. Now, if I did yo veo un pato, okay, so that means maybe you repeat after me. But even if you repeated, you might not know exactly everything that I said. So I might go, yo veo un pato. Okay, so now you're able to say it a little bit better, but still, what does that even mean? I don't know what that means. So here's where TPR comes in. Yo veo un pato. Yo veo un pato. So now you have maybe a better idea of what that means. I see a duck. So often TPR can help keep engagement and it can help convey meaning, which is really helpful in online lessons. Okay, my second tip to have an engaging online lesson is pacing. And really in any kind of lesson, even if it's in person as well. Pacing involves, I think I mentioned this in another one of my lives. I'm going to move Bob. In another one of my lives, I give stars throughout the lesson, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. And this helps the students see where we are in the lesson. So they know if they only have 2 stars, we're about halfway done, and then 5 stars is almost the end of the lesson. I mean that by pacing, and then I also mean I have bullet points, so I'll just kind of show you here. This is my planning app here, and really the bullet points that I use are, I have songs, new concept, and game activity. So I always plan my lessons kind of in that order, and I always try to keep that order. I might do something a little bit different, but I feel like this really helps to pace the lesson. The students know what to expect, and they don't lose focus as easily. Okay, and then my third tip is fun. I try to end with something fun after each lesson that is like a game or an activity that we do together. I'll often have the dice. We'll roll a dice, and each number means something different. So maybe number 2 means to name all of the notes in the measure. If we rolled a 5, 5 is singing, actually. So the 5 means we sing the measure. So games like that where I roll dice and show them, or I have shown you different games and things like that on my lives before. So yeah, these are my best tips for a good engaging lesson: is use TPR, set good pacing, and have fun. Okay, to end this today, it's tales and techniques. So I told a tale, I've told some techniques, I'm going to end with a tale. Okay, so I have another, all of my students are wonderful. I just love them. I have a student named Zoe, and Zoe is very creative. She's very smart. And we were learning about whole steps. So a W for whole, whole, half. We were trying to figure out for an H. We didn't know how to do it with the hands, but we were learning whole, half, whole. And we were, trying to think of a cool like song or a cool beat to put it with. And so we were having fun with the hand sign. And then she said, Miss Emily, it should be on a t-shirt. And I said, yes, I've been wanting to do t-shirts for a while. And my husband's a graphic designer, so he designs my things. And so I said, yes, we should use some concept of whole, half whole on a t-shirt. Well, then lo and behold, I get a message from her, of course, with her parents' permission. And she has designed a t-shirt. This girl, she's 10 years old. So the t-shirt that she has designed looks something like that. You can't really see it very well, but there's EBN Music. It says whole, half. And then on the back, she's got my, the Instagram, my website, and things like that. And I thought that was so sweet that she did that. And I want to show this to my husband, and I would really like to maybe like spruce this up, make this, into a cool t-shirt. But I think that's a good example of when you have good relationships with your students and you can have some fun together, it kind of gives them the freedom to give you cool things like that, right? They're just always coming up with really interesting things. And I just love it. So we've got t-shirt tale, a tale about Bob and Freddie, which apparently I'm still not good at naming things because Freddie is still a basic name, quote, basic. And then some techniques for online learning. So, okay, well, like me on Facebook, follow my page at EBN Music. And if you or your child is interested in piano or voice lessons, please give me a shout out. I would love to talk to you about it. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today or watching me later, and have a great weekend. Bye.